Good morning, Tina Mitchell here, your local mortgage expert and your host of Coffee with a Superstar. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. I interview the best of the best in the industry so you can hear what they're doing and how they're doing it. Each week we travel to our Superstars office and we're in beautiful Tacoma. It's so cute out here.
I know, right? It's pretty great.
I love it. And so we're here in Tacoma with my superstar this week, and it's an extra special show because this is the first time since I started this show at the beginning of the year that we actually brought in one of the team members. So I'm going to introduce, this is Christina Ross. She is an agent on Jennica Holmquist team, and she's with Washington Lifestyle Homes, Keller Williams. A little bit about Jennica before we get started. We just actually threw Christina in here at the last minute, so I don't have any information about Christina, but we'll share about Jennica. Jennica began her career in real estate in 2010 and hit the ground running as her business organically started growing. She carefully grew her team by recruiting driven individuals like Christina who share the same passion for life and for business. She is fueled by the opportunity to better the community as well as real estate industry itself. From beginning of the front lines, for being part of the front lines, helping clients meet their real estate goals, to a leader in the real estate community, recognized as nation's 30 under 30. Honoring in 2018, Jennica strives to continue growing personally and professionally in the industry. Now last year, Jennica had 38 closings. I want you to think about that for just a couple minutes. And for those of you that listen that are over in the Bellevue area, think about 38 Tacoma closings and what that means. It's a lot of transactions. And then combined with her team, Christina included, and a few more, 61 transactions. So wow, that is definitely a superstar team.
Thank you. Yeah, it was just Christina and I contributing to that last year. So that's just the two of us for production.
Wow, so you're continuing to build your team. Yeah. That is so awesome. So Jennica, I'd like to start out and ask the two of you, what do you credit your success to for last year? How did you do all of those transactions?
So last year we had a lot of transition with building our team and what that would look like, and I think a big part of it was utilizing our energy. So as I said, Christina and I were the only ones in production last year, and so making sure that we're continuing to have those conversations every day. I think we check in and just kind of mindset wise, making sure that we're both on the right page to continue building and growing, because it is a lot of work and it's a lot of mental work to stay producing. And with that, I mean, that's a lot of conversations with a lot of clients, and that's just closed transactions. That's not the whole big picture of how many people we're seeing contribute to those kind of numbers. So what would you?
Yeah, no, I think that the combined effort of working together and focusing on our strengths, and we did have those daily check-ins, so I would message Jennica in the morning, hey, I'm going to come in at 9:30, I'm doing this, this, and this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was a sense of our own accountability, and that is what I do enjoy about working together so much with Jennica's. We have that individual accountability because we're sharing it to everyone. Mm-hmm. And we celebrate each other. That's a big thing. So there's a lot of times where Jennica kind of downplays her success.
Well, that's why we brought you in, because I was like, wait a second. She's not going to say how awesome she is. We need to bring you in to help out.
I know, and I'm like, oh my God, you just did this. And we're like, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, and I think a lot of it is bringing in that fun aspect. And we do work hard in this industry, and if we don't celebrate those accomplishments, then it becomes a daily grind, and then you just get burnt out, and there's no need to get burnt out.
Yeah, and I think that's so awesome. If you listen to what they said, they talk about mind shift was one thing. They also talk about accountability partners, and they talked about having a conversation quickly every morning. I like to think about huddles, to where you're just taking a couple minutes to check in, and this is what I'm doing. Hey, by that way, how are you? Because I might be feeling a little bit better today, I can bring you up, or likewise. And then also they talked about strengths, and I think that's so important. If you're going to have a successful business, you cannot do it on your own. And I've said this before, you can do it on your own, but you'll have no quality of life.
Right.
So if you want a strong business production-wise, and you want to have a quality of life at a high level, you have to have a team. You must bring people in that can help support that. And also that there's strengths and weaknesses. I believe that we all have very few strengths, majority are weaknesses, and so being able to bring people in so that we can really focus on those areas that we're gifted in and that we can provide. And so when you're building that team, it's critically important that you're looking for people that can offset and bring in that area, right?
It's so much of the conversation we had last year, and then last year I think we started the foundation of those conversations, and then this year we've really seen the momentum from that, where like if you look at our Instagram, Christina is killing it on our Instagram page. Like she does such a good job. Like just this month for Pride, she was out this weekend taking pictures of houses with Pride flags on them and really incorporating that. And so she's really creative in that aspect, where that just gives me anxiety. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to do this. And so it's so fun watching her really utilize her, just like you're saying, the strengths and creativity. And we started those conversations, and I feel like that's with everything in business, where you start, you kind of put that out to the universe, and then this year has been really cool to start seeing that come together more. And letting go of that. I mean, that's what you know, like it's hard of where to let go.
And then it opens up for Jennica to focus on the business.
Exactly.
And what actually makes the marketing kind of support. So if we don't have that, and then, you know, there are certain things that we are both good at that we enjoy doing, so it isn't work.
Yes.
But, and like, I would be terrible at doing the
and
business stuff.
So how great is that? If you can see what a perfect scenario this is in building a team when you find the right person, because Jenica's going to get emotional. See, this is when you're passionate about your business and you're passionate about life, you're passionate about giving back to your community, like Jennica and Christina and the team are. It is emotional because you feel so blessed. And I think majority, when you look at your peers, majority of agents are, and any, not just real estate agent, mortgage and any other career, is they're stuck in all of that baggage for having to do things they don't want to do. And you're in real estate and you hear people talk about social media and all these things that you have to be doing, and you don't feel confident in an area and you don't want to do it. What a way down, that's going to take away from your areas of strength, whereas you don't need to worry about that because you have Christina that's plugging in. And Christina just said, oh my God, the idea of having to develop a marketing plan and to try to strategize with all of that, that's terrifying. So how great that she can shine in the area of Jennica weaknesses and likewise. And so I'm so glad that you popped in, Christina, because I think it's really important, because there's a small percentage of agents out there that are building a team. For so many reasons that we don't have time to go over today. But if you can look at the success of what it can bring, the key is you have to find the right person that's going to complement your areas that you're not strong in, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So each week I always like to also ask about a challenge, because no matter where you're at in business, no matter where you're at in life, challenges are going to come out. Sometimes your seasons are going to be a little bit lower than other ones, but you're always going to be dealing with those. And I think in the lowest seasons and the biggest challenges we have in life are areas of our greatest strength. And so what challenge have you had to face, Jennica?
So, that's a fun one. So last year I went through a divorce. I was together with my ex for 11 years, and just complete life change, and that personally was a lot. I have so much more empathy for people. You hear about divorce all the time, and it's like, oh, that's sad. But until and it's with anything, until it hits home and it hits you personally, you just don't know that relatability. And so now I'm like, wow, okay, it's a lot more transition in life. And so to have somebody and to have the business and to have this gave me a grounding of there is a bigger purpose. So, and not that my whole marriage was everything, but that having somebody that made me want to come in every day and have that energy. And then Christina, I mean, she's been such a writer through the whole situation, because there's also times where I'm like, I need to go live a little, and she would support that.
You like to have a good time.
Yeah. She called me a player.
You know what I mean. I am 51 years old. I probably don't have the words correct, but
no. But it was so supportive and good, because it allowed me. I really truly feel like, I think it's a process to go through something like that, and to process through it and to make sure that you're doing it in a healthy way. And I cannot imagine that I would have been able to do that without Christina, without the team, because I was given that grace of, like, I don't know how many times I cried during team meetings, and not even crying out of like, oh my goodness, the divorce, but like just appreciation of their support through the process. So that was personally. And then I think that you'll agree, I'm going to kind of throw this one out there, that this year and kind of through last year, team members are so huge that I think not having the right fit can really impact the business, and not in any negativity to the person or the changes that we've made, but it's so crazy how much you can feel that if it's not the right person, and you don't even know you're living in that, where personally, like, I had the divorce and everything going on, and that was more of like a clearing out and cleaning and becoming a new person, but then when you're bringing other people in your world and you're filling that space, that it can really make a negative impact on the energy. And so I think we discovered that a lot with the team
to protect it.
And it does. It has a ripple effect, and that's why having you must take the time to go through the proper process to make sure that that person's the right person, and really go through, you know, what are your strengths and what are you excited about, and where are the areas that I need to fill. And sometimes a great person, you get connected and you feel that connection. And you can jump into it and go, wow, we could be, you know, really powerful pair and really do something great together. But then you find out your strengths are all the same, and nobody's covering those areas of weaknesses. And sometimes you can figure out that you don't have the same goal, and that's a whole other thing as well. And I love what you mentioned, Jennica, that, you know, going through the challenges that you did personally, having a team, because this is another one of the many benefits, is not only having the support here, knowing that they have your back, but also having, I would imagine, the accountability that, hey, I need to get up, I need to get to the office, I have people that are depending on me. It's not just me that's trying to survive this, it's my team that we have to make it through this together, right?
100%.
Yeah.
And we, as a team, we do a lot of things, like we have book club, and so it's constant motive, like we're constantly challenging ourselves for growth, and I think that also helps a lot, because Christina's our bookworm, and so she'll put together like a list of books, and now we're switched to podcasts, that we're, instead of doing books, we're doing podcasts. So it's nice that it's not just coming in, but it's also coming in and being around positive people.
Well, is it something you do with just the team, or is it something that you do with others as well?
Just our team.
Just the team.
Okay. I was just going to invite myself to the workshop, but I had to hear if it was the team or not. So what about a marketing tip? There's a lot of different things as an agent that you can do to market, but really making a commitment and a focus on one thing. That's why I like asking this question in this setting with other agents that are doing amazing and big things in the industry, because there's so many things that you can hear about, but I think connecting with one and making a commitment that, hey, I'm going to go ahead and really work on this until I nail it. And you can have lots of ideas. Victoria behind the camera, she can tell you how many things are on my wish list for us to do as a business. But we focused on one big thing a year. Coffee with a Superstar was it for 2019. We see if it works. We give it time to figure out if it's going to be great or not. Some of them are not. And we let them go and we pick something else for the next year. But so what is your one great marketing tip that you'd like to share today that's made a big impact on your business?
I would 100% say consistency. So Jennica started working on this brand many years ago, and it didn't just come about. And a lot of people in this area know our brand, and they recognize it. They see the decals. We get pictures from some clients and friends with our logo on it. And
you see this logo up here, Victoria?
Right, it's
right there.
Yeah, that's it. And it is, and it's definitely knowing what you represent, believing why you represent the brand, and sticking to it. So we also do a lot, we're very vocal politically, and we're committed to it. And no matter who comments on Instagram, whatever, we still stay committed to our brand. We don't back down on what we believe in. And that's kind of why I think that our marketing and branding is successful, and it will be successful, is because it's different than just sticking a logo onto something. It's actually, we do believe certain lifestyles. We do believe everyone is entitled to their own lifestyle, and we want to help them.
Should make you emotional.
No, but it's the cry fest today.
And so if we have someone come, and we do have a lot of people come to us because they do feel safe with us, and they a lot during this Pride season. They know that we are there to support their lifestyle, and we're like, okay, here you go. Let's do this. Let's move on with it.
I love that, because it's not just a brand. It is a lifestyle. It's a why behind that lifestyle. It's something that it's Washington lifestyle homes. So there's a lot, obviously, a thought that goes into that process. And every client is not going to be your right client.
Right.
You need to be 100% authentic in who you are. I just a few years ago started sharing my story of tragedy to triumph, and I was always embarrassed about my background. And this show's not about me, and I won't go into the big why behind it, but when I had an opportunity and was asked, everything has changed around us because of that. And I had to come from a place that it doesn't matter about anything except for your own true self and what you believe, whether it's a political belief, whether it's a lifestyle belief, and going all in and knowing that there's going to be some clients that are going to be offended by that.
Absolutely.
And that is totally okay, because to each of our own, to have our own opinions. But how not strong are we, or how weak, if we don't lead with our beliefs and who we are? So I love that. So it wasn't just about just the consistency, and it wasn't just about the brand, but it was bringing the brand and the consistency around that brand and really digging deep of how can we show our brand out there in the market so that we can attract the right clients that we're meant to work with, correct?
That's the perfect way of saying it. And building something that is more, it's not just about us, but that other people are excited about representing. And so that's where, with the whole voice of where we are, our beliefs, who we stand by, who we stand around, is that are people going to share that same passion for what we're building? Because it's all community based, and if we don't have a community behind us representing the same things and being excited about it, I mean, we have people like on our Instagram that reach out to us all the time asking for our swag or just to be a part of the conversations. And so it's so fun seeing that it has been kind of a progression of where do we see this going, and then the more that we define it, the more power becomes behind it. So.
And I think a big thing is we do have an amazing brand, and so we do have a few people that try to piggyback and have a few things that they want to kind of incorporate that is a lot like our brand, which is to each their own.
Yes.
But we've been doing it for so long, and we're so consistent, and we do believe it that no matter what, we always somehow end up on top.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Well, I don't think anybody can copy anyone else's brand.
Exactly.
You can get. I believe that
Girl,
none of
you'd be
us
surprised.
but not to the fullness, because unless it is
It
your
doesn't come
authentic
behind.
self.
Yeah,
exactly.
Unless you
100%.
really, I believe that none of us have brilliant ideas, but we're inspired and motivated by others. The brilliancy is
100%.
implementing and making it our own. And
Believe
until
in
you make it your own, you can't compete with another brand.
100%.
And there's a reason.
Louder
there's a
for the
1%
fact.
Yeah. So, and how awesome too to be able to support your brand and what you represent, not just out in your market, behind the scenes, because we talked about accountability earlier, and it gives you an accountability to what you are offering to your community, and it helps you to continue to grow to be a better person because you've put it out there at such a high level. Is that correct, Jennica?
100%. Yeah.
It's fun.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You guys are beautiful.
Oh.
Love it.
It's fun. It makes, and that's where I think in our industry and with the things that are changed, I mean, we talked about with the teams and strengths, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, consumers, just in whole clients, the expectation of what they have is more and more every day. And so it can be a lot. And so to have something to still have fun with that and still to build, like, I think that helps us a lot of staying involved. And so kind of circling back on the challenges and things that you talked about is that when this is all the same fluid conversation as when you have the right mindset, the people around you, and then you believe in it, when those challenges do come up, it helps take you back to what's more important and seeing the growth and seeing the fun and exposing something. We didn't build, what's the quote, like, we didn't come this far to only come this far, or something like that. I think is such a structure for our brand that we built something that we want to share with the world, and so who are we to be small because we have something that we can offer for everybody.
I love that.
Well, and it goes back to the fact that so weekly we have a team meeting, and every week we start with what we're thankful for.
Yes.
And a lot of our team meetings does focus on the mindset and where we're at mentally and physically. And last week we just went on a team hike, and we had our team meeting on a team hike, and it was great because we were able to check in. And if we can't focus on ourselves mentally, and if we can't like dive in and see, why am I not the best agent? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not, succeeding in this part of my life? And then we work on it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an open space, and we have built our team around that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't compete with that. That's really hard to find. And mind shift is more important than anything.
Right.
And having someone else that you can talk about that with gives you that support that you need to really stick to it. And again, bringing it back to accountability is everything. So we've got to be accountable to our clients, and we have to be accountable to our team and our family and all around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so great. Beautiful show. Thanks, you guys, so much for having this conversation with me this morning. So what about the agents that are listening today? They're, always excited about kind of the next step, because again, there's so much, whether it's marketing or what to do in business, and oh my gosh, we're talking about a team, I haven't even thought about that, and it can be a little overwhelming. And on that note, I always say, just rejoice on your small successes and know that those small changes and the steps that you make will get you to the big changes that you're looking for. I'm 51 years old this year, and I couldn't have gained all of the wisdom and knowledge without going through that process. Right. You have to crawl before you can walk, and all of these things have to go through the process that they need to go through. So a next step for somebody that's out there, what would you give them as far as a call to action to take their business to the next level?
We are so repetitive on what we're going to say, but I think, and contribute, let me know what you think about this after I answer. Knowing who you are, who you want to work with, and then being comfortable just going for that. So we last year targeted, we sat down, we had a conversation based on our Instagram, based on everything, like who are our I shouldn't say favorite, well it is, it's our favorite clients to work with. Yeah. Hands down, our go-to, and you can see it in the structure of our team, is single women. Is single, independent, career-minded driven women. We work really well with them, and so that's mine. We actually kind of broke down a couple different based on our personality, like who our call to action is. And so yes, it's not like every single woman I'm like, I'm only working with you. However, it's putting out what's important to us and who we want to attract. And so really being comfortable. And I think that, like, we've brought up politics, we've brought up our views on things, and everyone's like, oh, don't bring that into business. And it's the same repetitive conversation again, is that being comfortable knowing what you're looking for, because then it aligns with where you're going. So I'd say when you first get started, you kind of want to work everywhere. You're driving 3 hours for one showing and wanting your hands and everything. Yeah, we've all done it. But then once I say after that 3-year mark, is really diving into who do you want to be in this business now that you've had the exposure, and giving yourself the grace of working with everybody and figuring out and dialing in based on what you've learned through that. Just like you said, like going through the process, but then knowing that about that 3-year mark is when you can really start focusing on what is important to you in the business.
Yeah. So Christina?
Oh, absolutely. So I think that when I first started, I would work with anybody and everyone, and I would drive, and I would work 12 to 15 hours a day, and I have a child, and I would get home at 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock. You have to push, but there becomes a time where you start realizing that you have to focus on yourself.
You do.
And what's important to you. And the moment that I started writing down exactly who's my perfect client, how is this client my perfect client, and how much time am I going to spend with this client?
Yes.
That is when I have afternoons available. I have weekends free because my clients understand my lifestyle.
Yes.
They understand that I'm going to be at the Tacoma Pride, and they know that because they're going to be there with me, so they're not going to ask me to go show homes because we're going to be partying.
Exactly.
So I think it's not being scared of who you are, what your schedule looks like, what your life is, and don't lie to yourself about it, because once you do that, then you start lying to everyone else around you. So own who you are, basically.
And so you've heard it from industry leaders based on number of units that they closed last year, that you can have a quality of life. You do not have to work 24/7. There are going to be long days when you choose that you're going to work that long day. There are going to be times that you have to go a little bit harder because something didn't go perfect, because it never does. But for the most part, you're in control of your life. And I love too how you say, focus on women, because that's what we focus on as well. I have real estate guys that send me their business, and we've got a great relationship. But I don't have the same relationship with them because I can't go out and have fun. I go camping with my real estate agents. I do train trips to Vancouver with all of my greatest referral partners are my friends.
Right.
And so how great is that if you can really pick and choose the people that are most likely like you, that you actually become friends with during the process, because then you're kind of, I do a course, which my One Time Your Business, but it's all about efficiency. how efficient is it to be able to have your closest friends, your business partners as well? You know, so
well, it's great when you actually want to pick up the phone for
yes.
your buyer or seller or
yeah.
the realtor you're working
yeah.
with, because you are working with that demographic that
exactly.
you get along with. So
yes.
it makes your day a
yeah.
lot easier.
Yes. So whether you're a new agent or you're established agent in the industry and you want to take your business to the next level, you heard from Jennica and Christina. No matter where you're at right now, just stop for a second and take a look at the foundation of your business, which is your brand and your why. And it's never too late to circle back around and go, you know what, I need to really pay some attention to this, because our conversation today has been focused on how important that is. And I'm sure that you can see in the look in their face and the voices, the tone of their voice, how passionate they are about this. So take a step back if you haven't already done that, and take a look at it. If you're a new agent, start your focus there, building that foundation.
And awareness, and I think that it also is constantly changing
yes.
and based on what's going on in your life and who you want to be around, so, and being comfortable with that.
Yeah, I love that. So as we have about 5 minutes left here, I would love to know a little bit about, you know, more of what's important to you. Jennica, why do you get up every morning and do what you do?
Competition, no.
Well, you are competitive. All superstars are competitive.
Why do I? So when we started talking about building the team, and not in a disrespectful way of other people, but there wasn't a team that we wanted to emulate, and so we wanted to build something that we could be proud of that was for us. And so I really feel like we're saying like the same thing over and over, but it having a all women team, having a focus, having a community base, like we're really proud of that. And so I know there's so much potential for what we're doing, and so I think that, you know, you go through the roller coaster in this industry, and I think anybody in sales goes through the roller coaster of the highs and lows, and like, are you doing the right thing? And you're very vulnerable in this industry, both like professionally, personally, like who you are. And so knowing that we are creating something for a bigger purpose, and that nobody else has done it. That's what I
wink,
like, I mean, nobody from my eyes.
It's okay to feel proud about what you accomplished.
So that's where I think it's really fun. And so like we've this year started talking more about what that looks like for growth with other agents coming on our team, and like what we can bring for exposure, because our industry, the entry level to get in is very minimal. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to get in, and if you look at the level of expectations for agents and like what they bring to the table, it's not very high overall when you look at our industry as a whole. I mean, what is it like? Right. Somebody usually is in the industry less than 90 days before they find out that this isn't going to be the right fit. And so if we can create the opportunity for them to get involved, to build a foundation, and then also have the support of the mindset, we have it. We have it here to build. And so that's what our focus and our conversations have really been around. And that's where diving into what our specialties are has been able to give us that conversation.
And what a great thing to be able to provide this platform for other women in the real estate space, when you know majority of a high percentage aren't going to be able to do it on their own.
Right.
You know, and you've already created this great brand and this great emotional connection behind why you do what you do. Yeah. Christina, 2 minutes. What about you?
On the clock.
So,
on the clock.
I think a big thing is, I saw Jennica post years ago on Facebook that she was starting this team, and I messaged her right away, and I was like, I'm going to join your team. And she was like, I don't know if I'm going to have team members. I'm like, no, it's fine. Let's have coffee. And so I think that, and it's one of those where I think that we have so much power in the community, and we have so much, not just housing, not just affordability, not just the homelessness, anything. We have power in every aspect. And if we can make some sort of difference in what we're doing, then we do have we can help. And a big thing with why I'm here, and one of the huge reasons, is I am able to grow my business as Washington Lifestyle Home, and I don't feel like I'm not a showing agent. I'm not just a buyer's agent.
Yes. You're building your business.
I'm going into the
platform.
marketing side. I'm listing. I have my hands in, and that's what we kind of expect with a lot of our agents that potentially could join, is that you're not just here to fill a number. we're here to grow the business, and we're here for a bigger purpose, and we're here to help our community. So
we're such softies.
I know, it's crazy.
I swear, as you get older, I never used to be like this. Now I'm like, oh yeah. Such feels right
it's
here.
a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing. Well, thank you so much to both of you for joining me for Coffee with a Superstar and sharing the success that you have with the agents that are listening to the show today. And look where you're at now, and just imagine where you're going to be 12, 24, 5 years from now. Yeah, love it. Thank you so much. And Christina, thank you for jumping in last minute. You were here, spontaneous girl. Thanks, Jennica. All right, and thank you for listening to the show this morning. I hope that you took away some inspiration and some motivation to take your business to the next level, give back to your community, do what you're passionate about, whatever that is, go 100% authentic to who you are, and see the difference that you're going to make in the world. We'll be here same time next week, different location, and a new superstar. Thank you. Make it a great day.